a climate crisis film festival. So it was start being exhibited last week in Glasgow in COP26 in the summit of climate change.
Okay, maybe we just make a second, Diego, 1 second, because I want to welcome as well Christine Böhme. She's the organizer of Berlin Science Week. So Christine, thank you very much. We had a little technical problem with the transmission of our YouTube link. So for everybody who's joining us on YouTube now again and coming from the program of the Berlin Science Week, very welcome from my part, Verena Böhme from the Manos Verdes organization in Argentina and Germany, and Joaquín Fargas. He's our special guest, invited artist and engineer working with art, science, and technology. So now we are really live again on YouTube. I hope the link is now working as well. Christina, if you have any sign to make, I'm happy about it. And so let's get started with a video, which is now also on the COP26 in Glasgow, as Joaquín right now said. And thank you, Diego, for stopping us. This was just a little introduction. Diego, do you have sound? Or
Diego?
do we get...
Quedó frisada la imagen.
Hola.
Está frisada, Diego.
Wait.
Ok, ahí va. Está frisada de vuelta.
¿No se ve?
No, quedó trabada, ¿no? It's completely freeze.
Wait, that I'm going to download again the... Please continue.
Bueno, continuamos entonces con... We continue with the adoption program.
Okay, let me make the highlight at the end. So actually the big question always was, no, this one is not. Just the big question we always had is, how do we get now? Everybody wanted to buy this little biosphere, no? Joaquín, that was always the big question. So everybody wanted to have one, but it was not that easy to really get one. So
Yes.
What is the plan now?
It's interesting because during 15 years of the Biosphere project, there was a lot of people that want one of the small fields and they want to buy these fields. And I always said that I cannot sell the small fields because the world is not on sale. And after 12 years, more or less, one curator of one exhibition I have in Zaragoza, he told me that you are denying the word to the people because you don't want to sell the fields, but the people want to have it. So you have to think a way that the people can have a small fields without selling to the people. So we decide to give the small fields in adoption. So Verena will continue explain.
Actually, yeah, the biggest question is always like we have to say, how do we really get, and are we really willing to adopt the world? So are we willing to change our habits? Are we willing to really take concrete actions? Actions for the protection of the natural resources, actions for the climate protection. And this is also the biggest question right now in the COP 26 in Glasgow, actually. How much are we willing to really go this path and adopt the world? So this is part of the idea, and part of the program is that we are setting up right now that people can apply to adopt. First, they have to apply to adopt the program. We have now set up a form which you can fill out if you're interested to adopt the world. But you also have to inform us what will be concrete action to generate awareness in your personal environment, and what will be concrete action you will take. This could be by a project, this could be a campaign you're running, this could be also part of your strategy of the company, of your own company, to say, okay, I will reduce until 2030 the use of fossil energies, and I will not use any more cars running on fossil fuels, for example. This will be concrete action. And then you will receive from us a biosphere, but you also have to report what are the results of your actions, and also report how is your biosphere, because this is life, what we give into your hands. We are developing right now the form, which will be the final adoption form, because this is always a question of logistics as well with Joaquín. But the biggest question is really what kind of, what is our effort, and what is the concrete result we expect from our effort. So this is part of the program, and we would love to spread this program on the whole world. So now the Canadian Embassy already joined the support team, no, Joaquín, and also already donated the first biospheres, and this will be part, of course, of a program of also of donors, and to be able to set up the whole logistic. But the biggest question is, what is the concrete action you are willing to admit and you're willing to put in order to adopt the world? I don't know if you, Joaquín, want to add something more.
No, yes, it's just a few words. It's about the difference between buying something or adopting something. We cannot buy the world. We are just passengers here, but we can adopt. And the difference between buying or adopting is the way that we take care of something, someone that we adopt. It's something that we have will not last forever, and we have to take care of this. It could be a pet or could be a human being. So in this case, we are thinking about the world. Why are we really willing to adopt the world? That is a huge question.
Exactly. So, Diego, are you ready with the video? Just in order to get started. I think, yeah.
Oh my God, look at that picture over there. There's the earth coming up. Wow, is that pretty? Hey, don't take that, it's not scheduled.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Many thanks to Nico Munoz, that is a great filmmaker and is very committed to work together with the environment.
So actually, I will post now on the chat the link to the form of where you can, if you're interested, you can register. I will also post it. I will show it to you on the screen so that people on our YouTube channel can see it as well. So let's see it. Here is the domain. So how to apply? The website joaquinfargas.com, adopt the world, and yet you just select English, and then you have the form also in English, I guess. If not, we have it in Spanish right now, but English is coming soon as well. And I think we would like to open now the discussion. What kind of contributions are we really willing to adopt the world with our public? Maybe, I don't know, I would like to invite our public here, our participants, in order to contribute and to think about how we can really achieve a big communication for this campaign and for this program. Anybody wants to join us? Let's see. Maybe Maya.
Yeah, this is very, very spontaneous. You mean like a concrete action, how to spread, how to disseminate the campaign, right? If I got you.
Yeah,
right.
And especially if we are really willing to join. We have some faces here from Argentina, from Germany. I know that they are working also with the students. So Sylvia might join as well with an idea how people can contribute. It's open. It's just open to if we are really willing, and what kind of concrete actions we could propose also. So we have now the big selection. Also, we have a big decision to make who will be part of the jury. So Isiar, she's also part of the board of Manos Verdes in Argentina. Very welcome. So I think we have a good group of jury members which have to evaluate this afterwards, who really will be selected to be able to adopt one of the biospheres.
I think it's important to notice that it's not easy to apply to adopt one of the fields. You have to follow some steps, and then you will be selected. There will be a jury that will decide to whom we are going to deliver these small words. and it will depend the amount of work that we will have in adoption. As soon as we have some institutions that make the support the project and make some small works happen, we will decide to deliver them to all the people that follow the steps. Okay.
Exactly. Anybody who wants to contribute an idea, thinking, thought?
What is the difference with the artificial light and the sun to the biosphere?
Joaquín, this is for you.
Yeah. I catch the glove. Now the difference, it depends. The best light, there are some kind of artificial light that they emit the radiation in the visible spectrum, but the plants also receive the UV waves and the the IR radiation also. But the best thing is that you have natural light. But if you don't have the natural light, there are artificial light that make the plants to grow without a kind of any problems, a sort of any problem.
Okay, thanks.
I think part of the whole program will be the creativity of everybody, everybody who's joining now. It can be a small action, like I educate my neighbor how to separate waste. I'm always coming up with the same idea, but it can be another idea of installing, in a public composting place or a public urban gardening space, which is like really coming up in a lot of cities, like in Berlin, urban gardening, especially also in Munich. I've seen like green rooftops where you install gardening with chicken and not cows, but sheep, for example. Really interesting. So this could be different contributions. Actually, if you followed the Berlin Science Week, we have a lot of really fantastic scientific groups working on different ideas and shared different ideas on a very high level. So this will be also really interesting to discuss with Christine for next year, so that we could select a special group of people also from the Berlin Science Week. But actually, it's from the very bottom to the very high level, I think, what we are looking for. And it's the best thing is always to use creativity. No? I think this is the best part to support. And in terms of companies, of course, companies have a bigger compromise to do because their impact, of course, is much higher than the individual impact of a single person. But I think especially Isia, maybe if you want to add something, working also with the companies from your experience, the indicators are quite complex, no?
Yes, it's complex. Well, I can give you an example. Right now we are in Argentina. We have a big fleet. As I'm working also as a CFO for a company called Bureau Veritas. It's a French corporation. And we are trying very hard to shift from regular cars to hydrogen, but it's not that easy in Argentina. It's a developing country, and it takes a lot of money, and also, the technology is not there so that we can do that. But it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge. But I was thinking maybe we also, as a corporation, we try to focus on big projects, and it's better to start with smaller projects, especially in these countries. So yes, it's an issue. It's hard, but it's possible. So I from my side, I also want to commit, but I want to come up with a nice project that it's also, of course, approved and initiated also from the corporation. So I'll come back to you, Joaquín, with a nice project.
Thank you, Isya.
Yeah, Verena, I think I have an idea. Because I don't know, but I'm personally frustrated by all the plastic waste in the world, not only in the oceans, but also like in general. If I'm just thinking going to a supermarket and every vegetable, at least in Germany, is like packed in plastics. And I always ask myself, why this? I mean, in former times, it wasn't like that. So I would go for somehow for a campaign. I don't know the details yet, but to more support supermarkets where you can buy just like the single products. I mean, it's already existing, but I think there should be somehow an awareness raising or somehow like a campaign of a lot of people. Yeah, to just explain really the need that the people do not want like all this stuff and the mass, plastic waste. So
yeah,
I think I would go for this. And of course, you could do always like some awareness raising. I mean, for example, once I also like collected plastic waste on the beaches for like also an artist exposition, for an arts exposition to show that there are really so much plastics in the oceans. And I think it's important, as you said, to show what kind of consequences we have like in the daily life. And I really liked like your presentation when you said it's all about fragility, because all the people are so like engaged in their daily life and their jobs that they really do not have the time to think about it or to be conscious about it. So I think this is really like one of the most important topics also to raise the awareness by different projects or campaigns. But I should think about how still. Like with the plastic waste, for example, in supermarkets, how to
totally good
get
idea.
a good approach.
So anybody else wants to join?
I just want to say thank you to Joaquín. I'm applying to adopt a sphere. I'm afraid because I don't know if you are going to give us instructions to how to take care of this little world, or if you know how to keep the world safety and healthy. For example, tell us how old is the sphere that you have behind you?
Okay, well, first of all, this is not a scientific project, it's an art project. So we are not looking for how long it will survive the ecosystem, but there are some spheres that are more than 10 years old. So it's very interesting how they survive and they change. For example, the small ones that I thought maybe they will last for a couple of weeks or whatever. Some of them are 10 years old, and the water is completely clear. It's clear water, but there are no the original plant that we can saw by we can see at first sight, but you have inside algae and some fungus. They are living in a kind of a symbiosis ecosystem, and they are working perfect. So they adapt. So the world we adapt with the humans or not. So the planet will continue and will survive. The question we have to make is, you want the planet to survive with us? So we are not adopting the world. We are adopting us as a human civilization that will be survive for, who knows, for many years, but it will depend on us. the life, the future depend on us. So we have to think in a more transcendental way, because we think about 2 or 3 generations ahead. For example, we have sons, we have grandsons, and whatever. So then we think that the problem is the other, is the problem is the future generation. They have to solve it, and we have to think about the proper human species. In that case, we have to think in the middle future. Middle future for me is about 10,000 years from now. And about the spheres, I always told that this is not a scientific project, so I expect them to be very attractive to the people, so they will feel attracted to the plant. They approach to the plants and they start asking questions and making these questions that is important for the project. And talking about the fragility, for example, the fragility is something important, because when we go in the outer space, outside, we saw the sky, we saw the planet, and for us, in our human scale, is absolutely minimum, depending on the planet. But we think that we cannot do any impact in the planet, but we are 7,000 million, more than 7,050 million people here in the planet. So the impact is very huge. But we have to think in the future generations. I think that's the most important thing. And we have many of these small worlds, but we have just one planet.
I think we have to, it definitely, and I think this is the best question as well. When you were producing new planets on the video, so we cannot produce more planets where we can live, no? But although we tried, and Joaquín, he tried to produce many more planets where we could live on. But I think one special question we also have to include is, what do you do to protect it against your cat? Because the cats are also always a big danger for those little biospheres, because my cat already destroyed mine. So I think this will be another question in the program description, Joaquín, no?
Yeah, there are many of these small ones are became broken because of the cats. So we think, what are the cats for us? This is a question. Maybe the cats are this probably impact of a meteorite from the outer space. We don't know. Maybe in the near future we will have the technology to protect the planet from this possible impact from the outer space.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the main message is we have to act, because that's what you always said, Joaquín. We already know the outcome when we do nothing. So every action we take is positive and is contributing to taking care of our planet and to the survival about humanity, because that's what it is all about, as you said recently. So I think for today, we are really happy to contributed this to Berlin Science Week, and this will be just the beginning. So next year, definitely we will come up with the first proposals of the program. So we will see what is the outcome and what are the results of our campaign to generate awareness. And like Thomas Olton, he says also here in the chat, a great contribution from Joaquín with a little Biosphere project to generate awareness. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. I think, Joaquín, we already come to an end, no?
Okay, yes. Remember, if you want to adopt the world, you have to think 3 different things. A letter of interest is, why are you interested in having a biosphere at home? Don't answer, I like as a decoration. And the second one is about what do you think to spread the word, to disseminate the message of the of the biosphere. There are many ways. For example, there are some schools working with the Biosphere project as a master plan for the whole school with different disciplines. And the third one is what kind of change in your life you are willing to do to improve your environment, or your small environment or the big environment. So this is just it's very simple and very complex at the same time.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining, and we keep you informed about the progress of the project and apply with the link we sent you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all of you.